two sites, okay? Number one is I'm going to take you to kellerinc.com. All right, here's kellerinc.com. Now on kellerinc.com, for anybody who has a so we have information. A, we send you all the links to everything, and then I will draw at the end. Some of you will get a copy of MREI because the first 170 pages of this book are gold on how to actually invest in real estate. Okay? So, but kellerinc.com, there are several books. If you go to the resources tab, all right, you'll see the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, and you'll see all these free worksheets. MREI, buy and sell worksheet. MREI, buy and hold worksheet. Download it. And then you have to learn how to fill it out. Download them. They're free. It's going to ask you every question you need to know about properties. And this is my favorite one for flipping. Okay, if you're actually looking to flip, then my second favorite one is actually what's above it. I'm doing this backwards. There. Yeah, it's hold. The 30-year hold analysis is fantastic. So you click on the book hold from this website, and you go down the 30-year note, and it's an Excel spreadsheet. And it's going to ask you every single question you need to know about a property. Right? How much you pay? What are the taxes? What's insurance? I don't know. Guess what? You have to call an insurance agent and be like, how much do you charge? $180,000 house, 2 baths in this neighborhood. And your insurance agent is going to tell you. That's we have to do it first. Right? Again, now we all know this stuff enough. Do ballparks on these things. You have to answer all these questions. You're not going to know a lot of the answers. That's okay. You start. It might take you 3 hours to fill it out the first time. Just like writing your name the opposite way. But you're going to get better at it. You're going to get faster at it. You're going to ask better questions. Okay? Spoiler alert. The houses that generally appreciate the least, cash flow the best. Again, the houses that cash flow the best usually appreciate the least. Because if I get $800 a month in rent on a house that was worth $80,000, that's a lot of cash flow. Because I can only get $1,400 a month on a house that costs $150,000. And when you do that, you learn real quick that income has cash flow better than the other one. Then you have this question. Are you okay owning properties that might not quite be safe? Right. Also don't go up in value very much. And we are not here to tell you who do that or not do that. The numbers will give you the numbers, and you let your conscience be your guide on what you care about most. Any comments on that?
You're absolutely right. I think when you're first getting started, better properties. It's not, as we said at the very beginning, it becomes about what is today and what appreciates the best. Yeah.
It can be a challenge, and you have to have that conversation with yourself. But you can't do that until you start analyzing properties and looking at them. I'm just telling you, the cheaper houses in the cheaper neighborhoods rent for almost the same stuff in nicer neighborhoods. A lot less. That means it's going to cash a lot. Just what the value is. And we're not here to tell you which one's better. That is That is a decision you will eventually have to make on your own for yourself. Okay? I can say this. When you are first starting, cash flow is king. Cash flow, if you have extra money coming in, you have the ability to save it and or use it on that property or other things. There are people who buy houses for appreciation and no cash flow, and that's great if they have a nest egg of money so that when they do need a roof, do need an HVAC, or the tenant leaves 2 months early, and you don't know about it, but you should. And it's vacant, the electric bill's in your name, the water bill's in your name, or as one of my absolute coup de grace favorite moments of being a landlord, when somebody decides to pour cement down your toilet. Just because. What? What? So we got lucky. They were dumb enough that it was actually the toilet almost empty, so the cement never, we take the toilet off and it actually never made it anywhere. It didn't go all the way through. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, we were. Yeah, because I think they actually like went to the bathroom in it and like thankfully anyway. I mean like, but if you have cash flow a month, which I'll show you. Okay, it makes it easier, right, to absorb things like that. If you're assuming, oh, it's going to appreciate in value, it's going to appreciate in value, appreciate value. Appreciation you can't put in your bank instead. Appreciation you can't have in the bank to spend when the property is vacant. Does that make sense? So when you start now, especially if you have no money, cash flow is king. You gotta have cash flow, right? Appreciation is awesome. But until you have these things called reserves and cash flow to create that, that's number one. Okay, and it really is number one overall with real estate, just in general, right? Something you can get your hands on, you really, really is key. Okay. But that's just kind of a general comments from you guys on that.
I think people get in trouble when they have this, they think it's a deal, just kind of spit out the way the spreadsheet works, and then 10 leads, 1 month, it doesn't pay, whatever. You have to consider this. Spreadsheet gets you in the ballpark, gets you off based on the numbers, but I think you have to just, you got to know what your cash flow is, your job, your W-2, or whatever it's doing, just not over leverage yourself on the first deal. I think a lot of people, they jump in, they over leverage the first deal, they never even buy the second, third deal, right? So you should figure out what you are, what's your risk, level is before you jump into it. Or get a partner that does what they're doing and has more money into it.
Yeah. So many apps. Here again. I'm going to show you one spreadsheet. Okay. By the way, is this valuable so far?
Oh, yeah.
You guys getting some information? Okay. And again, we're going to share all these things because the last one we're going to end on is money. Right? He's like, I can hear all out. What about money? Right? It's the key. So I just downloaded this 30-year worksheet. Okay. And this is what it looks like. All right. I can get it over here. Come on, baby. Here we go. Now, this is a free one. I'm also going to show you my favorite one, which is actually from Bigger Pockets. The Bigger Pockets one is superior, costs money. Okay? You want to do 3 a month. And by the way, when they say 3 a month, if you try to erase all the people's spreadsheet to do it again, so you know you get to do 3. You don't get to erase everything and do the same one over again. So I like this one only because it's a 2023 version. Okay. So list price could be what they're asking for. What you care about is what's called fair market value, or what we like to use as ARV. After rehab value is the sign that we use. After rehab value. Fair market value, ARV, nobody cares what's listed. No offense. Nobody cares what's listed. What's this thing really worth, right? Well, and what's it worth fixed up? Now there's catch 22. ARV, after rehab value. Well, what is your, and this is going to be like a black hole, but just want to have fun for a second. After rehab value, fixed up. What's your definition of fixed up? How do you define what is fixed up? How do you define what is fixed up?
Neighborhood.
Would be super nice. I don't know, a lot of money to fix them up.
Yeah, you got to do
We
range.
have inspections and we go professionals checking everything. Usually, that's how we do our rentals as well. We get more rent, but then again, we're having a hard time people being able to pay their rent. So, it, you know, maybe it's a negative at the moment.
So I'm going to give you guys a dead deal free card. Okay. This is when you need a really good real estate agent, like Jason, like us, that's going to actually show you, not give you their opinion, because our opinion, all the way data, we can show you homes in that area, what they're selling for. You can see the fit and finish. You can see they don't have granite. They have tile, they don't have tile, right? They have carpet, right? But they have, what is the fit and finish and what is it selling for? So to answer the question of what is the ARV, the ARV needs to match what other properties have been selling for in that neighborhood. Okay, does that make sense? And that varies per neighborhood. Okay? So for example, we bought a single wide trailer up in Reedsville. You might be shocked to know that we did not put granite in that kitchen. We've seen people do it though. No, we've seen it, right? I've seen people do it. Right? I'm like, I don't need to. I don't need it. I don't need it. It will sell faster. It's not selling for more. It's selling for what it's selling for, right? I mean, I get it. I'm like, you right, you don't have to, right? I mean, so you just got to know market and a good agent, right? And you can do it, frankly, with let an agent help you, because they're going to be ideally the ones selling for you if you sell retail. So let them have skin in the game with you, okay? So it's got to be fixed up to the level of whatever it is. ARV is whatever the level is in that neighborhood, okay? So I'm just going to make up some numbers for fun. Mainly, I'd love to go back to the one that Launcher had, but I'm not going to go bounce back and forth. So I'm just going to pick a house right now for fun. I'm going to say, okay, ARV is $225,000. So you can see how this works. Okay. Now it's going to say, you know, what do I want to get it for? Well, clearly, 10% off what I get it. All right. Now, here's what we do. General rule of thumb is you got to figure out what the ARV is first. ARV is what? After value. And when do you figure that out? First. You got to know what the end game is first. You don't back into it. You got to go, here's what this is worth. Right? You got to have that first. Or this game doesn't work. I don't care what you're asking for. What I care is, if I fix this up, what will it sell for? You got to have that number first. Now the game comes in, you go, oh, how much money do I want to make? Another rule of thumb is you better make at least $25,000 or why are you doing this? Because oops, these things called oopsies happen. You guys ever have oopsies?
Yes, but we have a cost.
Of course not. No, you haven't had oopsies?
The rehab, you know, we can take less, it depends on the rehab.
Yeah.
If
And the time.
They're in and out in 2 weeks, we'll take that. Our profit 50
Yeah.
50,000 profit.
Yep.
There's
Yeah.
also, there's 6 months, like, you calculate the time.
You calculate your time.
Another 6 houses instead of this one house. So you gotta calculate that.
So one of the things you got to figure out is what's going to be the cost to make ready repairs. Like how much is it going to cost to repair? Your first challenge is going to be like, I don't know. I don't know. So you got to take a contractor with you or somebody that knows how to do everything. And you got to go, how much is it going to cost to make this happen? You can take a listing. I swear to God, you get the pictures from a listing that's sold and go, how much is it going to cost this kitchen, this house, right? Look like that. I'm serious. It can be that simple, but you got to do it. You got to walk in there. I don't know. I need it to look like this. What's it going to cost to make it look like that? Hold the bathroom cooker. How do you make the bathroom look like this? I'm serious. Like sometimes it's just, but you got to get somebody else to give you these numbers, figure them out. But once you've done a half bath, right? Half bath. You got a full bathroom. Slide in your fiberglass tub and pedestal sink by itself. You gotta know what that is. Don't change. But you gotta do it. If you do it, then you just you start counting the numbers. So you have to figure out to make, how much is this thing gonna cost? Right? I don't know. So I'm gonna say this place is not great. I'm gonna say it needs like roof, HVAC, both bathrooms, kitchen, paint, carpet, landscaping. Let's just say $60,000. Is about right? All right? See, I'm serious. Like when you start doing this, you're just like, I just said a thing. You're like, that's right. So I'm gonna say 60 right now. So I'm gonna it's gonna be 60 grand. Well, it's only worth 225. So I gotta back out 60 right off the top. Right, and I want to make some money. So I want to get better than that. Okay. So I'm like, man, I definitely can't do 25. Whew, man, I'm already down to 165. So I'm gonna be like, well, let's see what 140 does. Right? Let's see what 140 does. Now, percent down, all right, it's gonna be what's called down payment. Now you want to put down 0. Fortunately, Tina will not let you borrow all the money. So Tina, if I'm gonna borrow, how much could I borrow from you? 75%, 80%, 65%?
Up to 85%.
85%. Well, now, caveat, she's loaning you 85% of the 140, not all the money that you gotta put in it to fix it up. Okay? So, 15%. So what's happening right now is, right? I know that I think the fair market value of this property is 225. I know I'm not paying more than 140. I'm putting down 50%, which is 21,000. So I'm financing 119. Now, don't forget, I've also got 60 grand coming out of my pocket. Now, you're already wondering, you're saying, I don't have the money. You don't have to have the money. If this is a good deal, you can go to anybody else and be like, hey, I found this deal. I need to borrow $80,000. Like, all right, well, I'm partners with you all. Right? Or sell to me. Here, walk away. Here's $10,000. Walk away. That's how this works. So make sure you have. But I'm going to make the interest rate right now. What's the interest rate roughly?
I would say it's at least
8, 7.5,
Yeah.
8. No, 8.25.
Say A.
I don't care. I don't care what it is. See, I'm not tired of the outcome. I don't care what the numbers are. Whatever they are, plug them in. Plus 8%. Okay. 8% interest rate. All right, we're going to do a 30-year loan. So congratulations, we filled out most of the information. Start getting a feel. Now, this is a whole book. That works. So this is 3-2. It's a 3-2 in OP neighborhood. Or it's not fantastic. Great, okay, right? So how much do you think a 3-2? By the way, rental meters, another great website if you want to go. You can look at rentalmeter.com. You can also just call Marathon Properties or any management company call them and go, hey, if I have a house at this address, this location, it's in this condition, how much would you rent it out for? Right? So if I've got vinyl, 3-bedroom, 2-bath box, 1,1500 square feet, right? 1,500, right? Yeah, all right. Let's go 1,450, shall we? On the rent. All right, so speaking of monthly rent, now this particular one will let you do up to 4 plans. We don't have always have one. We're doing a single family house. All right, now there's this thing called vacancy rate. Quick question. If somebody moves out on January 31st, do you think a new tenant can move in February 1st? No, no, that does not. Because people don't leave the place spotless and perfect, do they? Okay. So how long do you think it's going to be vacant? It's called the term. The term of property from when the last person was in it so the next person can move in it, and you want that to happen as soon as humanly possible. And it's 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks is the goal. 2 weeks is the goal. Depending on if they put cement in the toilets, or if, right, or really, because they use carpet, right? It probably also all costs money, doesn't it? Cleaning, right? So, I, consider me, always make my vacancy rate 8%. Somebody asked me why 8%. 29 days, 1 month. Because if it cash flows, if a month of being vacant, 2 weeks means I got extra money. You with me? If I make mine conservative, I think man, I need 2 weeks to clean it up. I need 2 weeks to find somebody else in. So I'm losing February's rent. Who's paying February's rent? Me. But no, I'm not, because when I do this, guess what happens? Tenant's money on this spreadsheet disappears. Instead of making $1,450 a month, I'm making $1,334 a month. So I've got, okay, $150 a month. It disappeared. I didn't even count. Because that's that mortgage payment up there. Guess what's going to happen? When I need to make that mortgage payment, I'm using the money left over from here. It's already accounted for. I'm not using my money ever again if I can help it. And I'm using it. This is how you get wealthy in this country. Now, so I got this extra rent. Now, are you using a property manager or are you not using a property manager? Okay, or let me ask this question. Do you want a phone call at midnight or 1 a.m. when their toilet does not work?
You still get the vote regardless.
I don't get the call.
Well,
I don't get the call.
it depends on, yeah, I mean, like, you know, over there.
Ah. See, I love those guys. Maybe they're over repairs, so you get the call.
We do get some manager, but then we get you for.
You should get the call.
Still.
So if you are like me, and if somebody can't pay their rent because they're going to have a story, and they're a story, and you are like me, you're going to be too nice and be like, yeah, I get it, right? Sure, yeah, I can wait, right? Get a property manager. Ooh, love, yeah, never actually payment. Like, my wife and I were too nice to call. She's like, look, this happened, that happened, my baby's in the hospital, this and that. I'll be like, yes, I understand. Let me donate you some money to take care of your bills. You know, let me help you. Oh my God, it's horrible. My God. So I have to have an insulation between me. I am serious. I will be like, oh my God, let me help you raise money. Look at it, right? You are okay, right? And I'm sorry, I'm going to sound very cool when I say this. The minute you do it once, game over. It sucks. But the minute you think you're being nice once, it is game over. That is your life of that person for the rest of their time. So I can't. So I have a private manager. All right, I do. And now this box on the expenses, only caveat, you got to put in annual. So you got to put in what the annual expenses are going to be. Okay. All right. Yeah. messing with it. Get out of here. Oh, control. I like it. No, that's all right. You guys are all just messing with me now, aren't you? All right. So what I do is for private management fees, they can be anywhere from 7 to 10%. Okay, right? Anywhere from 7 to 10%. So you look at the annual income, not the vacancy rate income, the annual income, and it's going to be 10%, right? So I know I'm paying them that much. Now, there's also sometimes it's going to divide it out monthly for you. Now, sometimes management companies are the leasing cost. The leasing cost is the cost to set up the account. The cost is to actually find a tenant. Now, if you find a tenant, right, sometimes you get the leasing cost paid because you did the work of set up and run, okay? But there is a leasing cost sometimes, okay? Now, there's this thing called a maintenance reserve. What do you think a maintenance reserve for? So in case something breaks. Do you think things break? Yeah. Another tip: if you ever buy a home, take garbage disposal out. Never, ever, ever, ever have a garbage disposal in a rental unit. They treat it like it is the garbage can. Take it out. They don't need it. Take it out. Do you have to use garbage disposals?
I got something broken in there, and it wasn't working.
Take them out
Uh,
of every rental you ever had. Pasta. Yeah, just take them out. One of the best tips I ever got, take them out. Other tip is if you ever get a dishwasher, do not put a dishwasher in a rental with all of the buttons on the top. Guess what happens? Water and stuff gets in the ones on the top because they actually open the door all the time. Things, steam gets in and they stop. Get one of the cheapest boilerplate with buttons on the front dishwasher. Third, don't forget a glass cooktop. Get the ugliest eye stove. Remember the old eyes that you plug in and plug out on the stove? Remember those? Yeah, they work great. You know why? When they damage those, you take one, put it back in, it works. You know what happens when they actually crack the glass top on the stove? You have to replace the stove. I'm just a few little, just like these are like just little things because like you learn with a rental, I'm not getting more money on the rent than the last cooktop. It's not. I'm not. I'm not getting 25 bucks more money.
Luckily, we now have the Lowe's outlet right there.
Oh yeah, baby.
Which is just amazing.
Yeah.
It was like a kid.
Yep.
I literally called my handyman, like, stop what you're doing with the truck and the trailer. And I got 2 sets of appliances, and it was like,
Yep.
place is big.
True. So maintenance reserves is a part of the rent you want to keep set aside for a roof repair, right? Eventual HVAC, things of that nature, right? Also, carpet from the tenant, right? And then that, like you want to use some of that. So generally speaking, I'm conservative. Depending on the condition of the property, I want it to be 5 or 10%. It's a lot of money, okay? Because again, you don't have money to start out with, right? If you have reserves, these things don't matter, but I want to have it. So right now, just for fun, we're like, well, I'm going to leave 800 bucks a year for that. Now, utilities, yes. When the tenant return happens, do you think the person cleaning and fixing up the house is going to need electricity and water? Guess whose name that's going to be in? Yours. Write this down. When you buy the property, you want to create a landlord account. Landlord account. Here's why. Guess what happens if you don't make a landlord account and the tenant moves out in the middle of the night and it's winter? Guess what happens to electricity? It gets turned off. Now, do you think there's a chance those pipes might freeze? Uh-huh. You get a landlord account for all the utilities. Guess what happens? Oh, this is it automatically switches your name automatically, so there's no connection fee. But more importantly than that, you as the landlord get notified that the tenant is turning off their utilities. So now you know when they're moving out.
We have to do it per property.
Yes. Yes.
So
It's the same account.
Same account.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not with with power. You have with power, but they're different addresses.
You have to tell them for each address.
For each address.
You have to tell them for each address. I want a landlord account. You already, so you got something from here. Cool.
We'll learn. I mean,
Sweet, right? Now, it's huge because again, you will learn like, oh man, I know the power's out, right? And also, if you're out, you need someone to get in there and do work on it, right? I mean, these guys keep going in the middle of the night if the power's out, and sometimes there's leaks, there's floods, they need power freaking out, okay? So the landlord account, it never goes off, you never pay the connection fee, it just falls back to the tenant, falls back to you, and that you get notified. It's a beautiful thing. Okay? Thing. All right, so anyway, but every property, I always put in at least a couple $100 for utilities. All right, then I got property taxes. A house like this, 225,000, probably gonna have roughly 1,800 to 2 grand, maybe 2,200, depending on the city or county. 2,200 times 2,200 on taxes. Okay. All right, insurance. Insurance on this is gonna be roughly about 1,100 bucks. Is that right? Right. You know, you always want to have it right now. Are there any HO fees, lawn care, trash? Yes, lawn care. When the tenant moves out, who has to take care of the lawn? You do. All right. I do at least 150 bucks a year for that. Okay. So here's my expenses. So what happens on this form? It breaks into 2 different categories, or actually 3 different categories. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. First thing, is the mortgage payment fixed? That's why it is up here in the top category. It's a fixed expense. Do you think that the monthly rent could change? Right. Do you think that the taxes could change? Right? Do you think maintenance expenses could change? All of it. So the reason the mortgage payment is up there by itself, right, is it's fixed. It's a loan. It's a loan. And also, it's going to show you what you could do with this property paid cash versus having a mortgage. Because even if you don't have a mortgage, you just have to pay the taxes. Yeah. Right? Unfortunately. So what it's telling you is it's saying this is the mortgage payment. It's saying this is the net rental income. It's getting rid of, right, $1,382 because I want to cover all my expenses when this person moves out. All right. Now, below here, this is your total unfixed or expenses that change, right? Leasing costs, maintenance reserves. So $500 a month. So my net operating income, meaning if I had no mortgage, this property would make me $818 a month because these are all my expenses. I take my rent, subtract out all these expenses, and I get what's called a net operating income. But we have, so if I paid cash, this would be one of the ways I figure out this thing called a cap release, which is how you decide, oh, is this house a good deal or not? Okay, it's one of the ways. But we, Tina's not letting us get out of here without paying that mortgage, right? So the mortgage is $873. So, but the net operating income, so this place is actually going to lose $55 a month. Now remember, it's actually losing $55 a month. I got maintenance reserves. I took out reserves for vacancy, right? I got all the other things. Okay, so I got a very conservative approach on this property. Okay, and I had to use $81,000 of my own money. But the minute I raise the rent, all of a sudden it can cash flow. This might be a good deal, might not be a good deal, right? What do I want you to do? I want the numbers. What if you get 50 a month? What if you only have to what if you buy it for 20 grand less? Because here's the best part. It does all the work for you. The thing down here, the second tab says hold ROI. And this shows you why real estate rocks. Because even losing 55 bucks a month on paper, okay, all right, here is the net operating income that I'm paying down the debts. I'm paying down $994 of the mortgage. Mortgage is getting paid down. Pay down the mortgage. Get it? Right? Now, this is fixed on a very slow thing. It's a 3% increase in rent, 4.4% appreciation of the property. That's two givens on this on the sheet. Now, I paid this much interest. Is interest deductible off your taxes? It is. Right? So the net cash flow is only 660. But did the place go up in value? And have I paid down $994 in debt? Yeah. The appreciation in 1 year is going to be $9,900. Right? Because I go 225, 4%. So the place went up $9,000. Right? Here's the end of year value. Okay? And cost of sales if it's sold, which we don't care about when I sell. So even at the end of 1 year, having no cash flow, all right, my net return is 10 grand. I made 13% on my money. And I'm even calling this a great deal. That's just year one. Because next year, I get the 4% appreciation on this amount, not the 225. So at the end of year two, my annual return, I'm getting 11,000. I've also got more debt paid out. I've also increased the rent. When you start looking at these informations, when you get down to year 7 or 8 on this thing, it's like you're printing money. I'm getting a 20% return. And then I start getting this thing called a cash on cash return, which is what my money is. Now, when we first bought them, we did not buy anything that did not have an annual ROI of a minimum of 20% and a cash on cash return, meaning my $81,000 I made had to be 10%. And I said to my coach at the time, I said, that's impossible. I can't find it. It doesn't exist in my mind. I said it for 9 months. And then I went out and did it 13 times. Okay? So this is just one of the forms. Again, you sign up for that sheet, because we're going to be running out of time. I got 2 months to money. Please understand, I've got me doing a video of this on the CPT Wealth page on Facebook 5 times. I'll walk you through it. What you want to do is you want to go download this form. You want to have me up on the screen, and you want to fill it out. Do it 5 times, 5 times a week. This is just the whole equivalent, just like this on that same page. Okay. And then, once you learn that, these start do we call program. And after 6 months, if you can have less than 70% in property of value, you can pull all your money out and have a cash flowing profit. So again, a lot of them are put on these spreadsheets. I'll give you access to these. But I want to get to Tina and money. Let's talk about money. For many of you, there's a stuff called hard money lending. It's short-term loans. It can be anywhere from 10 to 2%. You can still put those things in these forms. Any of these pages and Facebook things, you can go find hard money lenders. They are dying on money on you. I would caution you that are new to do a hard money loan your first time. I'm telling you, sell it to these guys. Sell it to them. Make it cash. Build that up 2 or 3 times before you go and do that. Because if you give Tina enough money, she will give you a loan. Okay? You gotta have, isn't it like 15%?
Well, the rate's gonna be worse than 8%. So
Okay.
it's 25% down is the best.
20%.
But I hear what you're saying. The hard money is the way to get your reserves. You need it. Like when you come to me to get a conventional type one, You gotta have reserves, and you gotta have that 20%, 25% down, or 15%. Then you might have to do rehab. Like, lender won't live on a house that has a hole in the floor or a leaking roof, you know.
But will you get renovation?
Yeah, yes, we do renovation loans on investment properties also. And, but it's the, same type of down payment. Gotta have reserve, can't do the work yourself. You have to have a licensed contractor do it for you. And it depends on, like, I love how you explain how you gotta learn what something's gonna cost, because you're not getting a contractor in this town out to give you a quote. You might be waiting a while, and then that's gonna get wrong. But the contractor have to give you a quote, we have to approve the quote, and then, closing costs, interest rates will run over. But sometimes it's what you got. Like, you don't have a pile of money, you don't have, you haven't inherited some money, you haven't saved up a cushion. It's how you get started in real estate. But I think it's really important, like you were teaching, to make sure it's a good cash flow problem. I can tell you all the specifics, yeah.
And this reserve sometimes. That's 1% down, you said reserve.
Reserves, the general rule of thumb is 6 months mortgage payment. So if your mortgage payment is $800, you need to have $2,400 on top of what your payment closing costs. And that can be in a, doesn't have to be liquid cash, you kind of maybe.
And half of that might come from your tenants, right? Because they're gonna give you security deposit. You're surprised, right?
And if there's this thing about season money, so how long does it have to be in an account? How long is that reserve?
Well, it doesn't matter how long it's in there, as long as it's an acceptable source. And on investment properties, you cannot receive gift funds like from a family member. So if that's what you're talking about as far as seasoning, we look back 2 months. 2 months. And, you know, there's also, one thing that changed recently is you can now buy a duplex as a prime residence. If you live in one of the, a duplex, triplex, quadruplex, as long as you live in one of the units, buy with a common, this is lower closing costs, lower interest rate. Yeah, it's a great thing that they did, finally. And live in one unit and rent the rest of them out. And they may already have tenants. You can count that as income. But you live in it a year, you can rent your good again.
So you're saying if you bought a property, within one of them, and the rents that are counted as a
Not as reserve, you count it as quality income.
Yeah, the minute that property gets a tenant in it, it went from being a liability on your credit to an asset. An income producing property, right? That you're getting 75% of the rent. Right?
Yes, we count 75% for vacancy.
You're living, that is one of the best strategies, not the best strategy to get into. Just because the local like living, unit, but you can, down payment, I think is 3.5%. You can buy a house with 3.5% down. Your tenant's paying for most, sometimes all of your mortgage payment. And like she said, you do that for 1 year, you can leave, buy another duplex, buy another triplex quad, and after all, you're going to be living in every single year. If I knew what I do now, that's what I would have done for it. Right.
So my wife and I, you know, we just bought a new house in August. However, the house that we were all taught, buy a house, right, live in it, as soon as it's worth enough money, sell it, use the proceeds, buy another house. That is wrong. If you can save your money, you buy a house, live in it a year, maybe 2, save up enough money to buy your second house, you keep this one as a rental, you move it to that one. Now this one, you can as an asset and income producing to offset the debt ratio, and now you live in this one for a year or two, and then make it
And tax deduction.
And tax deduction. Now, my wife and I just did that in August. We wanted to move, so we kept our old house, if you will, as a rental because we had a mortgage of 3.25% from 2020. So we're paying $1,400 a month in rent, and the place rented for $2,650. And all I did was say, well, how much house can I buy for $1,300 a month? And I went over here and I bought a new house, right? And my out of pocket has not gone up, right? And by the way, is somebody paying down the debt on that now? That house going in value? Yes, right? So that's one of the best ways to get past this illusion about life in America. But you gotta buy a house and then sell it and buy a bigger one. No. Buy a house, live on less than you make, buy the second house, buy the third house, buy the fourth house. Never sell appreciating assets. Sell your car, it's going down in value. Don't sell appreciating assets. Yes.
Because how did it what if you took 20 out of it to set you up for your other property and other investings? And that equity count, does it count as debt towards you, or does it count as income? Well, not really income, but will the rent cover the equity and the payment of the house?
Well, it depends how much rent you're getting, but it will be counted as debt. So like if you're vacating a primary, this is what you're saying, and turn it into a rental.
Yeah.
They don't let you count it as qualifying income if it's a positive cash flow, but they let you offset the portion. And that includes the
Equity.
yeah.
Lock it, market credit. 50 grand of equity in your house, on that equity, put 5% down, next house you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Isn't that the interest rate is higher?
A lot of credit is much higher, but it's not cash coming out of your account. That's the line that has you.
And most of them, if you get a variable rate, they're interest only, and we count the interest only payment. There are some banks that credit that their payments higher, but you can get a fixed rate, and it is much higher, or you can get an interest only.
This is a great time to say, I've said it before, the path is in the math. It doesn't matter what the actual interest rate is, if the tenant can cover the payment and the numbers make sense, it doesn't matter. Starting out, because if you got a property that's going to cash flow $600 a month, or it's going to cash flow $504 a month, because you're doing 8.5% versus 6.5%, that's really going to stop you. So don't step over dollars, worry about minutes. Whatever the rate is, run your numbers off that rate. All right, and you will find properties that fit within whatever parameters you have to work with. That is in the math. That's why you've got to analyze these things. I'm like, what's the rate? I don't care. Right? That's right. I got to get it for a different price. Work at that rate. Okay. And then the best part is, if rates go down, Tina's gonna be like, "I'll refinance for you." Wait, she'll call you. She'll be like, "Hey, by the way, look, I can get you 3/4 better rate. Let's go." Your rate went down. You got to call. I promise she'll call you. So it's the worst it can be, and it goes down later. You can get out of it. But whatever the rate is, don't make that stop. Just run the numbers, please. You hear me? I run the numbers. Like, don't let that. Like, I can't pay 10%. If they're going to give you a pile of cash left over after the 10%, you mean you won't pay 10%? My answer is yes, I will. Right? I mean, the path is that you've got to analyze it. It's not free to be worried about. It's does the whole thing make sense? Okay? And you gotta learn. And you call it, and she goes, no, that won't, but this will. No, but that won't, but this will. Right? That makes sense? Like she said, like, I'm like, oh, it's a lot harder to get 5%. But I get to keep 15% of my money? Yeah, I think I might. I'm serious. If the numbers make sense, I'm gonna keep my money. Does that make sense? So look, we're a little bit over time. If you don't mind, a couple things. If you haven't filled out one of the sheets, fill one out real quick. If you want, I'm gonna pull from those sheets, right? And I'm gonna draw if you want a copy of the book, but if you want these away, okay? Right? Alonso's got her cards. If you guys want to get their information. Also, if you don't give me one of those sheets, and I'm gonna have your email address, I can't send you all these websites and all this information, which I'll gladly do tomorrow. Okay? So, my house for you guys. What did you guys get out of this? Everybody here, you don't mind sharing a little bit. What did you get?
No disposal. No.
So-
No.
Guys, those in? Love. They don't make them. Don't make them.
That's a mention right there.
They don't make them, man. Oh, they did. They make them. The what? Landlord or
Oh,
tenant?
landlord, that was a good one.
Oh, yeah.
And going when they.
And they don't know. They're like, why are you on the landlord? You moving?
I
You're
also
moving
have
Wednesday.
flyers about renovation. So we're gonna, have extra information and then investment financing.
Any other items? Good. So look, we're gonna go to the market. Okay, I've got a gentleman coming up from Charlotte, got a coach, at, who owns, 28 stores, and he does about $500,000 list a year. Okay? 20 people. All right. So, we're gonna keep this going, just wait and action. We're gonna do what we have things, now, all our cities do well, we'll have that kind of stuff, we'll be sending you everything, also just on add, like, you know, your rules and what's the.
Yeah, it's properties.
Yeah. I want to get this community going with zero solicitation, let it go. Right, you can join, you just can't put it across. If you want to reach out, just reach out. The whole bad is, look at these things. Look at the video, practice the spreadsheet, ask questions, stuff, right? Like I want you to post on there, like, hey, every minute, come out. We're all here to help each other. Is this good for everybody? Yeah, that's value. So we're gonna do these every other month, okay? And then maybe we got one, if anything we can answer for you, okay, let us know. And if anybody had to fill out one of those sheets, we'll draw for this, and thank y'all for coming. Seriously, thank y'all for coming. I hope this was helpful.
No, there's food in there, please eat it.
Yeah, got lots of food, drinks, have at it.
All right, Tina's gonna pick.
Bailey Carson. There you go. There you go. You're very welcome. Thank y'all for coming. Seriously, thank y'all very much for being here.
Great.
Thank you, Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank Tina for the food. She sponsored tonight. Thank you all for coming.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Chris, one way, Lacey.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes they give you 3 days. Jacob's not here actually, I'm not going to. But, you get your two things next month. You'll find out about.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is send one, right, we do different things, but the Airbnb now, are, how to tweet Airbnbs, and he has one program. Price. And you talk about that, and you tell people, so anyway, we will do short-term rentals,
Yeah. I love it.
It's all asking that. It's worth it.
You never know.
Get you wrapped up this weekend.
To me, that's the hardest part. Everyone's like, oh, no, like, just, it's the hard part. So there, that's why you should go.
You just gotta admit, I think like you.
Yeah.
We
Yeah, we never know.
but everybody does not. That's all you see. Determination. Yeah. $23,000. So like even now to this day, we're still like, I mean, we have $20,000 still there. Yeah.
And a $30,000 mistake on my rent. You can like, it look nice, but. Let's get it. Short shingles, making it pretty, rather than all backside. You see new windows, new shingles, new everything. It's amazing.
We started cleaning it and not leaving on the wall. And then,
And then, we never touched the wall behind the kitchen. Cabinets.
Yo, one thing we do is actually all bunch of it's called C. Just all about all the monthly. All the things, first of all there, Airbnb will be good, I'll just get one, I won't get
This area.
But yeah, what else? Analyze, right? So it's like, that's the thing.
Last night, and nobody showed up. And it shows up. Yes, you qualified, and there's a 3-year assignment. And we were looking for like $2,500 a month, and it's like 3,200 over. Looking for it was like my pony's paying for the charts, like. Hey, let's be back with our kids. We got $700 more.
my neighbor did that, they were sweet, Volvo, they came in and Volvo. 3 years. They were very good.
Yeah, and it was,
And they were taking care of it first. They'll take care of it. They were.
so we are looking, and we are funding IX. Every week now, 2 hours a day, I'm looking forward to it. So.
Don't call on them, you know, we can, you can make your percentage. Yeah, more money that way.
The, our goal is, and goal 2.
Yeah.
And then the rest of this. Get that open, that way, work 20 hours a week, they earn, and that way we're, just adding, that. So that's our goal. We're making our meeting, another 18, it's our goal, but 2 hours every week. Just focus, I know.
Are you guys on
So right now, I've got so many leads from, people from the church and so many other options. I got
There's those, the board policies.
Oh. And you can't just come in out. We'll go down. Like I said, you're welcome to go out, but you just can't be properly. This is not the place that. This is the place that it's all roads, all water. Real estate, an agent, just simply go. Just break and get done. But yeah, I'm more, we gotta be forward. And then anything above that, right? That's the word. That's my primary thing. So, that's, yeah, that's good. You guys, get us all. So we are doing, there will be some for you, we're doing, that was a pretty good foreclosure system. And usually only 2 or 3 weeks. So, pretty good. With us. That's that. And we're gonna dial in, and so I think that's the terms. Anyway.
Thank you. It's nice to see you for this. I should do this with Dutch, but
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, we're asking for maybe appraisal or measurements of the house. Yeah, so the bank, we don't care about the price of the floor plan I work. Now you appraise it. You always have to appraise. It's just, yeah. Yeah, she's our admin. So anytime we get a property from a bank or anything like that, part is to cover that, part is and they're going to give you different square foot range than what's on the review plan. Yeah, no worries. No worries at all. Yeah. You don't have to give it to us. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And that's the people that ask you about doing deck, patio, what are they doing? Yep. That's it. I haven't gotten feedback yet. That's the guy. He's been looking at that property for a lot. 4 months. I don't know. I know the agent. I don't remember the name of the guy. But bugging me, I'm talking to 4 months. Hey, it's finally got some stuff in there. Go take a look. So they did. And me and Katie will be out there on Saturday, doing a little and seeing what scare up. And then that's what I have. Yeah, I've gotten 8 or 9 inquiries this week. That's good. And while we were driving by, just taking a look. I got some tire kickers moving. Jesus. Um, and the casino's up and running. Like, the casino's up and running. I know, man. Like, why can't I get more people in there? And I'm like,